So I was speaking to Exumavoid the other day, and we were talking about all of the new updates and the things that are going on in the Snapshot, and he let me know about a fairly interesting feature which is in the latest one. So as you guys know, fence posts, they can now have water sources on the inside of them. So look, how cool is that? We don't have the airspace around the fence post. The water actually looks like it's surrounding the fence post. It looks natural. It actually looks natural, which is something that I'm quite happy about. But one thing that he did tell me, and I wonder if this is the case, is that you can now move water source blocks. Did that look like it worked? So if I do this, let's give this a go. So if I push this across, so that is now there. It's no way. So we can move water sources now. I mean, I don't know how useful that is, but it's pretty interesting. So what exactly happens in a situation like this? Okay, and then if we do that... Alright, so it keeps flowing down. But I guess the further it gets away... Are there water sources being made there? I kind of hope there aren't, because I've come up with this, I guess you could say, slightly ridiculous idea. Yes, this is gonna work. So what we've got is we've got a 5 platform here. So we've got 5 slime blocks around like this, and we have these 5 blocks, and then we have these central blocks here. And if we were to power this piston, it pushes it across, and then the water kind of... It drops out the way just as the next one comes along, and it's perfectly in sync so we don't run into any issues. Oh, this is up there as one of my silliest ideas I think I've ever come up with, but I'm going to start work on building it. But before I do, I wonder... Oh, that is a shame. I thought that maybe it might work with lava, because then we could create some brutal traps. If you could just push lava through like a wall... Oh my word, we could have created some horrendous stuff. Now my plan of action is to create some form of flying machine, and I will just say it has been forever and a day since I've built any form of flying machine in Minecraft, so I'm a little bit rusty on it, but I'm imagining we're doing something... Oh my word, yeah, I've got a lot... I really can't remember. I've got a lot of thinking to do here. Now, I would say the likelihood of this thing working first time is about 1%, if that. But I'm going to grab myself a flint and steel, and let's see if I've actually created some form of flying machine that works. Alright, so that's potentially not the best start. Let's update it using this. Oh, no way! Oh, check that thing out! So we have now got a water source that is moving of its own volition. Look at that. Well, this in itself is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this redstone contraption. This is a really awesome thing to watch. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of that one because that's hilarious. Oh, where can we go with this? Right, I need to stop this thing before it travels off into the distance. I'm so happy that this works. Can I just say? That is hilarious. Alright, so there we go. I feel like maybe just go bigger. Just go bigger is definitely something that I personally think is the way to go on this one. So we either run with a bunch of them and they all update at the same time, so we'd have to have some form of launching circuit and it would be like a fleet of water droppers, or we make this single flying machine that's being powered by this motor bigger. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, how much bigger could we make it? Oh, I'd have to do some serious work on this one because my brain is not good with flying machines. Now, I have thought of a genuine use for this thing, which is surprising, I have to say, but this puts out a 15 wide area of water. So say, for example, you've got yourself a nether wart farm, which is one of those farms that you have to do manually. You have to harvest it manually and replant it manually. This could be a really good way to actually clear out all of the nether warts. You send one of these things flying across the top, and it will break all of the nether wart in a 15 wide band all the way across as it goes along the farm, and then maybe you could have hopper minecarts underneath picking up all of the nether wart, going back and forth. That could be a potentially good idea, and then you could have loads of them, like a fleet that travels across your massive field of nether wart. Yeah, that could work quite nicely. So I've slimmed things down a little bit on the design, but I've actually made it too fast. So this thing is actually now too quick to function properly. It's not dropping the water down, which is, in a way, is quite cool, because it means that you can move a water source to a different location without covering the entire area of water, but that's not what we want to do, really. What I do want to do is I want to make this thing bigger. So here we have the full setup. Now this thing has got 3 water pillars dropping down, and as you can see, they meet up perfectly. Now, I'm not 100% certain this is going to work, as per usual, but let's remove this one, and let's update this piston. Oh, it does work! Oh, wow. Oh, come on, this has got to be one of the coolest things you've seen. Look at that! That is so majestic. I gotta get a screenshot. There's so many screenshots being taken right now, but it's because I'm intensely proud of this thing, but I feel like we can go even bigger than that. This is a gorgeous looking redstone contraption, by the way. It's perfectly symmetrical. It looks really cool as it's flying along. I do think we can extend it though. So let's get ourselves some obsidian. Let's stop this thing from rolling. And let's keep working on it. Oh, I'd forgotten how much fun flying machines are. I seriously had. Yes, it is coming together. So I've worked out a way that I can add an extra one to each side. I'm fairly certain this is pretty infinitely expandable, which is always exciting. So I just need to wrap this around here, and I need to make sure that I do it exactly symmetrical, just because otherwise to me it will look really ugly. That's all I'm caring about at this point in time. Bam, 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 bam. This looks like it's something out of Star Wars. I don't know what that soundtrack was that I just created there, but I'm hoping... Oh, no! No, 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 no! Oh, and we don't even have MC Edit, and I didn't back it up! I didn't back it up! Oh, that was silly. What on earth do I do now? So, unfortunately, because I'm a bit of a moron, I didn't actually check to see that this area here was 13 blocks, which is why this thing decided to leave it behind. So I'm going to have to reconstruct things with a slight tweak of the design. It's only tiny, but obviously it means that I have to rebuild everything because, as I say, no MC Edit. It kills me not to have MC Edit. It also kills me not to have backups of my worlds, which hopefully has been resolved now. So if we remove this and then grab ourselves a flint and steel, that should boot into action this 5-wide beast. And it has, and it actually works. So there we go, water being dispensed over a relatively massive area there. It looks like one of those planes that they use to put out forest fires. Which brings me on to a very good idea. A very good idea indeed. Now to do this, I'm going to have to work out how on earth to use one of these things. So it's going to be called Super Forest Fire Fighter. And then relative position. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you serious? So a structure block can only save up to 32 blocks in any direction. I mean, that's... I can't be the only one that thinks that's a little bit pants. That's a little bit pants, isn't it? How you... What sort of use is that? This thing's huge. So unfortunately, after about an hour of trying, I couldn't get the structure block thing to work. Please let me know how to use those things down in the comment section. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to move the forest that I had in another world into this world on a slightly smaller scale. Let's create a forest fire. And 3, 2, 1... Random tick speed 1000. We have got ourselves a forest. So that's generated that one. Geez, I should probably tone that back down. How dense is That's not so much a forest. But still, you know, that works. That does the trick. So there we go. And thankfully, I actually built this thing high enough so that the water should hopefully cover up over this thing. Now what I need to do is grab my flint and steel and go to town. Should I turn off fire tick or should I just let it spread? In fact, I mean, here's an idea. If I just place a few of these around and then up the tick speed to 1000 again. Oh no, that's not creating much of a fire. Oh yes it is, yes it is, yes it is. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. This is good. This is good. This is what we want. This is what we want. And this is definitely what I want. Full-blown forest fire. There, everything's alight. And we're going to see if this machine that I have constructed can fix it in a dramatic way. Here goes. So, updating the piston. Things are flying over. And the water is being dispensed onto the scene. I must admit it's getting a little bit laggy. And I can't tell if it's doing anything in particular. Has it put out any fires? It's so laggy. I think I'll take that, maybe potentially, as a bit of a resounding no. It looks like there's a chance that it hasn't. But, on the bright side, this is a really, really cool redstone contraption that looks fantastic, even if it is a tiny bit on the useless side. Look, it's a mobile squid farm. There we go. Mobile squid farm. We have now constructed a mobile squid farm in Minecraft. Yeah, this worked a lot better in my head. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this redstone video. If you did, please be sure to that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.